talk production numbers. So I've got some really cool news to talk to you about today. So I'm Johnny from Johnny's Car Care and Reviews, and the good news is Ford is going to be drastically increasing the production numbers of several models. So a huge deliberate effort to increase the production on the F-150 Lightning. So they want to go from about 80,000 built per year to 150,000. Basically, they almost want to try to double production every year moving forward. Bronco production. So I love this Everglades behind us. I wish it came with a 2.7 liter, but don't get me wrong, the 2.3 liter is a great engine, but production is going up on these models. Not the Everglades, not the Raptor. We can continue to see very low production on the Bronco Raptor as well as the Everglades. So if you can get your hands on one, like this one here is available because it's a canceled order. So that's actually a great buy. Comes with the 2.3 liter engine, which if you look at its actual specs is considered basically a performance option at many manufacturers. It's got the Warn winch in the front, and well, it's made to go pretty much everywhere. It's got the snorkel up front, but that does not mean you can get water up to the windshield because you can't get the alternator wet. So there's actually markings on the sticker back here that let you know what height if water, you can actually go wade in. It shows you Sasquatch what level you're at, and then Everglades what level of water you're at. But do remember that the wave coming in, if it's over the hood, that means you've got your alternator wet and likely you're gonna have some mechanical issues. Everglades also only come with the hard top. They come with these cool wheels. Love the wheels on this. Marie's not a fan, but I think they look absolutely great. And eruption green is my favorite color for a Bronco. Now, so Bronco production is going up considerably. This is almost doubling every year. Ford's putting a huge push on electric vehicles. So guess what? The Mach-E is going to have a huge production increase. And if you order up, you want a fast Mach-E order, so you want to put your order in and get it quickly, order a rear-wheel drive premium with standard battery. You're going to be pumping those out of the factory. So here we just got actually quite a few allocations for that model. So we're going to be getting a lot for the next upcoming months of production. Now most models are going to be, if you get a date, you're going to be getting assigned a date of April or May. That's where we're at. And talking about production, let's also talk about distribution and inventory. So for distribution and inventory, Ford's not going to have the huge inventory they used to have. This is all in an effort to actually help control pricing. So that will mean either more money for shareholders or the possibility to have better pricing, so less cost. There's a cost associated with having dealerships with an incredible amount of inventory. Let's talk about if you could have, let's say, 70 F-150s for sale. And well, right now, we've got these right here. So we've got about 20 available. So about a quarter to a third of what we would normally have. So inventory is not back to where it was, and the dealership is not, some people are saying online, claiming that inventory is higher than it ever has been at dealerships, that dealerships have never been this bad off, and that manufacturers, especially Ford, are in more trouble than they ever have been. That's just not true, at least not now. It's not true at all. But what Ford's going to be doing for distribution, you can see those Explorer STs in the background. Instead of having huge inventory, they want us to all have proper demonstrators of the models they can really, build quickly. So they're going to try to, you could say, funnel people's orders into certain types. So the vehicles on the lots, for example, the Explorer, you're going to see STs and let's say an XLT ST line. So, and maybe a Timberline. So you have, let's say, 2-3 of the potential models for F-150s. They'll have different engines available in, let's say, XLT with Chrome Mags, XTR, a Sport, Lariat, and then Tremor. They'll want us to be able to try everything out. And by everything, I mean, sort of like the most popular options. They're not going to have lots filled like they used to have. They'll have enough to try out to see the differences between trims, between models and between engines so that you can test drive these and figure out what's right for you, and then you'll be able to custom order. But the hope will be that more people are picking more of, similar options, resulting in, less variances, less differences in the builds, meaning faster builds, less cost. So less cost means either more profit, so shareholders are going to be happy because profits go up, and when you need to push volume, well, then you can work on better pricing. And I'd say for 2023, don't expect huge rebates, at least not at Ford. Ford realizes when you put a huge rebate, like we used to have employee pricing, and you'd see these trucks, with huge rebates for 4 months out of the year. Well, the result, the trades were worth less. Ford's thinking it's important what the trade's worth. People's happy overall, satisfaction with the product. A big part of that is what can you sell that vehicle for? Big part of why people have loved having a Toyota in the last, 20, 30 years is that they have great resale. And you can't have fantastic resale if you're giving them away the new ones. If you're giving away the new ones with, $10,000, $15,000 in rebates, that affects people's trade-in value, and that means people are going to be less satisfied, less happy, less pleased with the brand and the model when they go to trade it in. So we want good trade-in values. So what I would expect to see for 2023 when it's time to put these on rebate, if inventories get pretty full, let's say they get up to 50 when they used to have 70 F-150s, or what we could call, let's say, about a 60-70 day average, because there's a cost to holding these in the yard. You have to pay interest on these vehicles, and that gets reflected in the price of the vehicles. So that dealers pay less interest, there'll be less vehicles on the lot, but the goal will not be to have these wild wait times like we've had in the last 2 years. You won't be ordering an F-150 and waiting a year, or like the Bronco, maybe even waiting 2 years at certain dealerships. Make sure your order gets confirmed. Watch my videos on how to order vehicles, because I do talk about how to confirm and enroll an order, but that's something you'll definitely want to do. But in the meantime, I do want to mention that order times are going to get cut down. The goal is to cut them down to as low as, maybe even 4 or 5 weeks from you order it to when you're, it's arriving at the dealership. So build times are going to get a lot faster. There'll be less inventory. This is going to be better for dealers not having to pay nearly as much interest. This will also, fair dealers are going to realize, hey, let's not charge over MSRP. Let's, be fair with pricing. And Ford does want to move towards more standardized pricing. We see it in electric vehicles. Electric vehicles are supposed to be the same price at all dealerships. Now, some dealers are still selling them over window, over MSRP, but that's going to come to an end with the new contracts coming out. The new EV dealerships, it's a new brand at Ford, a new branch at Ford, you could say, and the whole Ford EV section of Ford is its own section. Dealers are going to sign on and guarantee that they're going to be selling at Ford's pricing. That's going to be standardized pricing across all dealerships, and we can expect this to eventually happen with. It only makes sense if the program works, if people like it, like they have enjoyed at Tesla. This is going to be happening for the gas. It's just a question of when. It's going to happen, probably in the next renegotiation that occurs between dealers and the Ford brand. Now, I just want to point out, behind me, I love this model. I find this is the best value at Ford, the Tremor. I'm not going to call it a baby Raptor, because a Raptor has the EcoBoost engine with 450 horsepower and 515 pound-feet of torque, and this thing has 400 horsepower and 500 pound-feet of torque, and it's got really cool off-road tires. It's got the hood up there that looks pretty cool and beefy. You have all sorts of orange accents on the outside, Tremor written in orange, and the inside you've got the orange stitching, you've got the digital camo. It's a great looking vehicle, fantastic bargain. If I was to get a Bronco, well, of course, I'd be considering getting a Badlands. I think it makes a lot of sense. You don't have to Sasquatch it. You're still getting an unbelievably capable off-road vehicle with a ton of style. But I digress. This has been about production numbers. Ford's increasing production on the Mach-E. Ford's going to be announcing at the end of March, likely the end of March, a new EV SUV. So that's really some cool news. So you want to stay tuned, subscribe, hit the bell notification, because I'm going to be releasing that information. It's either going to be a 5-seater that's going to be Edge sized, or we could be getting announced an electric SUV that's essentially going to be Explorer sized. Mach-E production is going to be going way up. You want a Mach-E? You're finally going to be able to get one. So that's great news. Bronco production going up. Ford Maverick production going up. And that has been a bit of a interesting case. I'll talk about that in this Monday's live. So Mondays at 7:30, I do my lives. But it's been interesting. Marie, her Maverick is a 2021 July order, and a February 2022 order actually came in just right before hers. Hers is about to come in, but it came in and now is actually confirmed and enrolled at the end of November 30th. And hers was actually enrolled September 22nd. So much before, and of course we didn't have the same cutoff dates here in Canada as in the US, but still, it was enrolled, confirmed 2 months and 8 days earlier. Originally ordered, July 21 and a February 22, same order, exact same order, but a different color came in. So the ordering system isn't always perfect, but it doesn't matter for the future because ordering times are going to be coming down. Mind you, it's going to take quite a while to get order times down on the F-150 Lightning, but they will be coming down quickly on the Mach-E, especially if you're looking at ordering a GT model, a California Special, the California Special model, or a premium standard range battery, rear wheel drive. Those are your keys to getting a fast Mach-E, but production is going up and I can't wait for production to go way up. I feel bad for people who've had to wait. We originally waited not nearly as long as some, but originally we were, a day one. We ordered, Lightning day one. Bronco waited a little bit to spend way too much time on that build site because the Bronco, the differences in the models was complicated. But we did wait not quite a year, but looking forward to wait times coming down on this. Well, if you want more side Ford information, stay tuned. That's what we're here for. We do reviews of all sorts of vehicles, and we've got a long-term review of this Lightning. We bought it. We also have an F-150 Raptor, so we look forward to comparing those two and probably having a nice little drag race between the two. So until next time, I wish you all more cars and more power. Don't forget to subscribe because it does help feed and dress those poodles. Take care, everybody.